Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
The last bit of last night's rain has moved out, but we may see more spotty showers and storms this afternoon. I'll show you where.
Lying in state, you're looking live right now at the Vatican, where people can pay their respects for Pope Francis. The timeline of what comes next for the Catholic Church.
Development dispute. Signs around Raleigh say tell the city council no. Why some residents oppose rezoning that would approve a building that's up to 30 stories tall. And we say yes to starting your Wednesday with us. We're glad you're up with us as the sun is coming up. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, thanks for spending the early part of your Wednesday with us. Made it through some of that hail yesterday. Some folks I drove through it. My car's getting pounded, thinking I'm going to have dents all over it, but it's moving on out right now. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRS Severe Weather Center right now. You caught some of it as well.
I did, and we've got some amazing video of that to show you coming up in about 15 minutes or so stick around for that. In the meantime, all of that is moving out. We are done with rain, at least for now, but later this afternoon, from St. Goldsboro back over toward Clinton and Fayetteville, that's where we could see some redevelopment of thunderstorms later today. It's all because of this front. We've been talking about it for the last several days. We're going to see storms developing along that stalled front today, tomorrow, and Friday. Our chances for rain today are fairly low, though. Mid-afternoon, 20%, about a 30% chance by later this afternoon. But again, mostly some of our southern counties. It's dry for most of us, but there was some rain in our southern counties last night, so some of the streets will be wet there. Our temperature in the Triangle in the mid-60s. It's 65 in Fayetteville, 60 in South Hill, 64 in Rocky Mount. It'll be a nice day today. I mean, a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures feeling comfortable, though, in the upper 70s. A little bit on the humid side, though. I'll show you when we could get a break from that. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, at 6:01, really quiet start to your morning commute. We do have reports of Wake County Sheriff's deputies getting rid of some type of road debris on New Bethel Church Road down there in Garner, but we just checked those sensors, not really affecting your morning commute. But if that neighborhood or that road sounds familiar, just know that the deputies are working on that. Here's a live look at I-40 and Carytown Boulevard. Traffic definitely picking up, but you're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Taller towers could be coming to a part of downtown Raleigh, and people there are pushing back against the developers. WRAL's Laura Levine is live in Raleigh, and Laura, the height of those buildings could more than double.
Jeff, good morning. So this is considered the northern gateway into downtown Raleigh. We're in the historic Glenwood, Brooklyn neighborhood where you'll find several signs just like this that says, tell city council no. A group of residents here are pushing back against this project that could bring a 30-story building 240 feet from this historic neighborhood. Raleigh Development Company owns the 2.6-acre lot at the northeast corner of the Peace and West Streets intersection. For the second time, the company is seeking a rezoning exception from City Council to increase the building height from 12 to 30 stories, calling for multiple mixed-use high-rise buildings to add more retail, office, and residential options. Residents in Glenwood, Brooklyn say it's too close to their neighborhood, claiming this sets a dangerous precedent in violating city comprehensive plan rules, while also putting additional strain on the infrastructure. Those who support the project, like resident Larry Miller, believe that the development aligns with some of the current and future community needs.
It's in the urban core area. It's in a walkable neighborhood. It's close to a public transportation and additional proposed public transportation. It's near a grocery store.
So people on both sides of this debate hope that at this meeting tonight, they can come to some sort of agreement and compromise that will continue to protect the history of this neighborhood while also moving Raleigh forward. Now, that meeting is from 6 to 7 p.m. at the McKibbin Center on Gorman Street. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Covering Wake County tonight, parents can learn more about how to keep their kids safe. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Gardner Magnet High School. And Kelsey, the district is hosting an event there tonight to cover some of the important topics that parents should be talking with their kids.
Yes, Renee, parents will learn more about gun safety, mental health issues with children, and the dangers behind this. They're invited to come here to Garner High School tonight to learn new resources from experts. So these are some of the questions that parents may be able to get answers to tonight. What are your responsibilities as a gun owner? How can you tell if your child is struggling with their mental health? And what are the signs that your child could be in danger online? Wake Schools is partnering with the Department of Public Safety. They want to warn parents about techniques predators may use online.
We've seen an uptick in the number of sex trafficking incidents and scams that young people are falling for predators that are trying to target young people.
Parent Safety Night is scheduled to start at 6 here at Garner High School. Then tomorrow, Wake Schools plans to announce a new program that will be designed to protect kids from guns. So we'll be sure to keep you updated on that. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
Also tonight in Wake County, you can share your thoughts on cuts to the school's budgets. The school board will hear thoughts at the Southeast Raleigh YMCA from 6:15 to 8:15 tonight. Yesterday, school leaders considered ideas to help save the district money, and one of those cuts could include a change to classroom temperatures. This would save money on heating and cooling in the upcoming budget. Board members are focused on avoiding cuts to teachers or funding for classrooms. Some members suggested pausing employee salary supplements, which would save over $7 million. The board could vote on this budget as early as May 7th.
And this is a live look at the Vatican, where early this morning, Pope Francis's body was moved to St. Peter's Basilica. He will lie in state there for 3 days as people pay their respects. Saturday morning, a funeral will be held for the Pope in St. Peter's Square. And then, in accordance with his will, the late pontiff will have burial in Rome's Basilica of St. Mary Major. Now, on or after May 6th, a conclave will start to elect a new pope. In that process, 138 of the 252 cardinals worldwide will vote on who should lead the Catholic Church next. Voting will continue until a 2/3 majority is reached. The Vatican uses a stove to burn ballots, with black smoke indicating inconclusive voting and white smoke from the chimney indicating they have a new pope. WRAL traveled with Pope Francis when he visited the United States and Cuba. Revisit his comments to Congress, to the United Nations, and the TED Talk he gave about tenderness. Find those clips and more on WRAL.com.
A balloon release honored this 14-year-old girl who was shot and killed in Raleigh. That event last night marked 1 year since Micaiah Daniel's death. Daniel was shot and killed at a North Raleigh apartment. Xylon Abrams, who was 16 at the time of the shooting, was charged with the 8th grader's death. Daniel's aunt tells us she will continue to speak out and tell Daniel's story.
Her life was taken. It wasn't nothing that was accidental. It was something that was purposely done. And so every day is a day. It's a process of pushing forward.
We asked the Daniel family if they had anything to say to Micaiah's killer, and they say despite the struggles and how much they miss Micaiah, they forgive him and hope he uses his time behind bars to learn from his mistake.
North Carolina is pushing back the tax filing deadline after Helene. Last week, the IRS extended the deadline to file individual income tax returns and make payments to September 25th. That's for federal returns. Now, North Carolina is taking its own action, waiving late penalties on various state individual and business income tax returns until the same date in September. However, most interest is not being waived, so if you owe the state money, they will still charge you interest until you pay it. The Department of Revenue says the only way interest can be waived is by the legislature.
Chris Levingood here in the WRAL Live Center with a breaking update right now. Within the past 5 minutes, we have started to see reports come in from Turkey regarding some earthquakes that are being felt. And actually, I should say, one earthquake is what's being reported, but it's being felt by different magnitudes in other places here. This is the publication called Turkey Today, where they say that a magnitude 4.0 earthquake was felt off the coast of the country. But if you go back to their homepage, their top story right now says that there is a strong 6.2 magnitude earthquake that hit Istanbul. And if we look at the map here here on Google, they kind of show you exactly where this hit, right here toward, here's Istanbul over toward the east here. But again, a 6.2 magnitude earthquake, and it just happened not too long ago. And so what I'm doing is trying to find some kind of images that have come out online. This is so fresh, it's tough to tell if there's anything just yet, but I'll keep combing through the feeds to see if I can find anything to see if there's any injuries of damages, any reports of injuries or damages. I'll, of course, report it here on the WRAL Live Center. But again, this is just happening within the past 5 minutes or so.
All right, Chris, thank you for that breaking update. Deputies are questioning suspects under the age of 18 after several vehicles were hit by bullets in Northampton County. This happened at the Dollar General store in the Woodland area yesterday. No one was hurt.
Raleigh police took 2 people into custody after they say a carjacking led to a chase. Sky 5 was over a ramp off I-440 West and I-40, and police say those 2 people jumped out of that black sedan, ran into the woods. The chase started in Durham. Officers did not release the names of those 2 people arrested.
Today, the Zebulon Board of Commissioners will gather for a specially called meeting. This will be the first meeting since the town manager and assistant town manager resigned in the past week. The board will meet at 6 tonight.
A fight over LGBTQ plus books in the classroom is being heard in the Supreme Court. Parents of Muslim, Christian, and Jewish faiths are suing the Montgomery County, Maryland School District. They argue parents should be given the ability to opt their kids out of classroom discussions and readings of those books. The school system and its allies argue an earlier effort to allow opt-outs was disruptive. The High Court's conservative majority will likely require schools to provide those opt-outs. Breathing in pollution. Nearly half of Americans live in areas with unhealthy levels of air contaminants. How that number has changed over time and what is contributing to the poor air quality.
And right now, wildfire burning thousands of acres in New Jersey. Thousands of people being forced out of their homes. How many acres it's burned so far this morning?
And no rain for your morning commute, but later on today, parts of the viewing area could see a few pop-up showers and storms. I'll show you where.
And here's a look at your Mega Millions numbers: 25, 39, 49, 52, 65. The Mega Ball is 22.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:14, taking a look here at what's happening. We do have some showers and thunderstorms that have moved out of our viewing area. I wouldn't expect any more of that this morning, but later this afternoon from Goldsboro back over toward Benson, Dunn, to parts of Harnett County, Cumberland County, you might see a few stray storms. We're going to see a stalled front in our southern counties, and so that's where we're more likely to see the rain today. It's a small chance even there, just about a 30% chance. So it won't be as dramatic as it was yesterday. But today, tomorrow, and Friday, we could see a few afternoon and evening thunderstorms pop up across the area. So a pretty start this morning. Definitely some cloud cover out there, but a mix of sun and clouds. That's a look at RDU. Temperatures are in the mid-60s as you're heading out the door. And when the kids come home from school, expect to upper 70s. We'll talk more about some warmer air on the way. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now. Let's start in southern Wake County, give you a live look at NC 540 and NC 54. Traffic flowing nicely in all directions on 540, which is really good news. And that's really what's happening on all our major routes this morning, from Wendell to Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. All those routes are delay-free at this hour. Here's the thing, though. You're getting ready to head into the car. You don't have to leave us. Traffic on the go, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Netflix is releasing a documentary about a North Carolina father and daughter accused of murdering the daughter's husband. It's called A Deadly American Marriage. The documentary is about businessman Jason Corbett, who was killed inside his Davidson County home in 2015. His wife, Molly Corbett, and her dad, Thomas Martins, were convicted in his death. Those convictions were later overturned after an appeal. The documentary is set to premiere on May 6th.
New this morning, the CDC released new data at midnight showing the number of babies being born in the U.S. remains near a record low. About 3.6 million babies were born in the U.S. in 2024. That's up less than 1% from the record low number of 2023. The birth rate has been dropping steadily since 2008, and there are many reasons why, including the increasing cost of raising children and waning confidence in maternal health care.
Officials in parts of New Jersey are asking people to evacuate because of a fast-moving wildfire that sparked Tuesday morning. Michelle McConaughey is here now with where specifically this fire is burning and what containment efforts look like this morning. Michelle, now that the sun is coming up, we can clearly see the extent of this.
Yeah, you really can, Renee. This is actually a live look right now for one of our sister stations there in New Jersey. A live look at the fires burning. Thousands of residents in Ocean County have had to evacuate their homes as this wildfire rages on. The New Jersey Forest Fire Service said the fire has burned 8,500 acres so far with only 10% containment. Officials said approximately 1,300 structures are being threatened and more than 25,000 people are without power. Thick black clouds fill the sky, prompting a public health advisory in the county as air quality worsened. Look at this fire here on your screen. The smoky haze brought a stretch to one of New Jersey's busiest highways, the Garden State Parkway, to a halt. One resident says she was forced to leave because it was getting hard to breathe.
Earlier, it was not too bad with the smoke. You'd think it would go away. Eventually, as the night went on, smoke flooded the streets. People were evacuating. At first, it was, voluntary, your choice to evacuate. Then it was mandatory. So everyone started leaving, packing up their cars and heading out. And we decided to do the same thing. The smoke was too heavy to breathe, and we decided to pack up.
Several shelters have opened up across the state at local high schools. No injuries have been reported so far, and officials are still working to learn what caused the fire. A press conference on this fire is scheduled later this morning, but again, another live look just puts into perspective what they're dealing with in New Jersey.
Michelle, thanks for that update. This morning, the second family stopped at the Taj Mahal. Vice President J.D. Vance and his family are on a trip to India. Earlier this week, the vice president met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The second family's trip comes after India was hit with a 26% tariff April 2nd. That tariff was suspended for 90 days by President Trump, leaving a 10% baseline tariff. Yesterday, Vance said the U.S. and India agreed to a trade deal.
Happening today, a NASCAR star will visit service members at Fort Bragg. Daniel Suarez will visit the post as part of the NASCAR's Mission 600 outreach campaign. He and members of his team will greet troops and take part in activities, including weapons training and using the flight simulator. Suarez also visited Fort Bragg last year. His visit today comes ahead of the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway next month.
It was all about the timing. Yesterday evening, 5:30 range, whether or not you hit some of this hail. And Elizabeth and I both happened to be driving on the highway. I was on I-540 right near the airport. Clank, 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 start hitting the car. What?
Oh, yeah, it was so loud. So much hail, like all at one time. We had a lot of folks send us great video. In some places, it was as much as the size of a quarter, so about an inch in diameter. Look at all of these hailstones that people sent us pictures of. But it was pretty unnerving to be in your car when it was falling on you.
I might dent it.
Right. I was on I-40, not too far from Lenovo Center, where everybody was trying to get into the hurricanes game yesterday. So thanks to everybody who sent us the video and photos. It was a pretty interesting evening, to say the least. Let's take a look at what's happening now. All the storms from yesterday and last night have moved on out, and we're talking about where that storm was that produced the hail. This is actually a look at rainfall, but you can see the blue shaded area. This is where the path of that storm was, where the rain was heavier. So it started way back here near Asheboro, moved north of Siler City and Pittsboro, south of Chapel Hill, and right here near the airport, and fizzled out. Along that line, we had about 3/4 of an inch of rain. The rain was coming down with the hail. We didn't see hail reported, as far as I can tell, in any of the reports that I can find, really anywhere else. We had some significant pockets of rain, though, here in Wilson County, as well as Edgecombe County, about 1.5 inches to 3/4 of an inch, while some people saw 1/10 of an inch. So just sort of depended on where the lines of those storms developed. We're not likely to see any hail today, but here's how it forms. With thunderstorms, we have wind that moves up in the storm and down in the storm. So the storms can tower really high up into the area of the atmosphere where temperatures are below freezing. So the raindrop moves up into the cold air, it forms an ice crystal, and it bounces up and down, creating different layers of ice, and eventually gets so heavy that it falls to the ground. And it was very interesting to be in that yesterday. We have mostly cloudy skies for it today. We're going to see a little bit of sunshine trying to peek through. Our next weather maker, of course, is with us now. The stalled front that'll bring us a chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. For today, it's mostly in our southern counties. You can see that front stalled really across eastern North Carolina. And here's a look at Futurecast. There's going to be a mix of sun and clouds for us today. At 5 o'clock, look at that, just way down to the south of Southern Pines, Fayetteville, and Goldsboro. It's possible that we would see a cell or two farther north, but for the most part, that's where it is. And same thing again tomorrow. It's really our southern counties. And so much lighter, much less impact than we saw yesterday. A cold front comes through Saturday and cleans us out for early next week. We'll talk about the drop in humidity coming. Ken?
All right, 6:21, Elizabeth. You're getting ready to head out the door in Wake County, delay-free, which is really good news. Similarly, if we isolate Durham, Chapel Hill, Hillsborough, all those major routes are delay-free as well. So let's stay in Durham, shall we? Give you a live look at I-885 and TW Alexander Drive. You can see traffic picking up, but flowing nicely in all directions. You're getting ready to head out the door, though. You don't have to leave us. We can take us with you. 101.5 HD3 will keep you updated all morning long.
Whooping cough concerns. The CDC is reporting more than double the amount of cases than this time last year. Doctors warning for those who could contract the illness.
Well, saying their goodbyes, people lined up at the Vatican right now. This is a live look here. They are paying their respects to Pope Francis. We'll tell you what comes next for the Holy See operating now without a leader.
And ahead on today, they will have a doctor in Studio 1A to discuss allergies and how to keep them under control as the spring season ramps up.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Tiger King Joe Exotic confirms he is now married.
The first YouTube video is 20 years old today. Ken Smith here now. What's trending on our Wednesday, Ken?
Yeah, YouTube is so much a part of our lives right now, right? But back in this date in 2005, the first video was uploaded to YouTube, rather. The video is called Me at the Zoo, the 19-second clip. You see it right there, featuring YouTube co-founder David Karim in front of an elephant exhibit. Also trending this morning, Joe Exotic taking to X to share his recent marriage. The Tiger King shared a few AI-generated photos of himself and Jorge Flores Maldonado. He and Flores Maldonado met while incarcerated. Exotic has been sharing out parts of their romance over the last year right now.
So finding love in prison, just another chapter for Joe Exotic, right? Serving that 22-year sentence for multiple offenses, including a murder for hire plot targeting Carol Baskin. And this is actually his 6th marriage for Joe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but this could be the one. This is the one.
It'll be part of the next episode. Yeah. We know that when that rolls off again.
100%.
It does make you want to watch Tiger King again, doesn't it?
No.
It's like you can't look away. You can't look away from that series. All right.
Good, thanks.
And for today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly in our southern counties. It won't be nearly as dramatic as yesterday, but I'll show you where you could see some rain.
Safety for students. Parents have a chance to learn more about ways to keep kids safe. Their main areas of concern including gun storage, mental health, and online awareness.
And development in Raleigh. Glenwood residents are pushing back against a rezoning request. The developer planning an up to 30-story build.